Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about something that I believe everybody needs to know about, especially because I have had personal experiences, and it's becoming scary to me because many people don't even know about it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about hypotension, hypo, low blood pressure. What we know commonly is about hypertension, and many people in the age of from 40 and above are on antihypertensive, which means their blood pressure is high, and so they're taking antihypertensive to bring it down. Some of us are exposed to being on antihypertensive and you don't even know when it crashes below normal. Now, what do you call normal blood pressure? Normal blood pressure is usually below 140, 90. That's where you are. But if you're anything above 140, 90, you are hypertensive. And if you're anything below 90, 60, you are hypotension. This is looking at the systolic and diastolic pressure. And so it's very important that we pay attention to it at all times. It's also very important that you pay attention to it if you're on antihypertensive. There is a thin line between hypertension and hypotension, so that you're very careful that you don't crash your blood pressure below normal. Many people, when they start antihypertensive, they will just be taking it without checking. And sometimes it's already late by the time it's found out. Now, let's talk about some of the symptoms, some of the things you could notice if you're hypertensive. Many times you feel dizzy, lightheadedness, you feel like you're fainting, there could be nausea and vomiting, you may have blurred vision, you know what I mean? All of them are related. You're tired, you're slowing down, you're feeling faint, sluggish, and so on. And some could get at the point of being confused. So when you begin to have these symptoms, it's very important that you check. Now, let me also tell you, don't wait until you have a lot of these symptoms. If you're on antihypertensive, to be honest with you, I believe that you should be able to check your blood pressure at least once every week. The good thing is that you have very simple, instruments like this that you can even wear on your wrist. You can have it in your handbag wherever you're going. Yes, there is a school of thought that it may not be as accurate as the normal one you see in the hospital, but it gives you an idea. So you should be able to check it. Have a kind of record, mental, record of what your normal blood pressure is or are usually, so that when it begins to drop, you will know. Now, today I'm talking about how to manage hypertension. And like I said, I've had personal experiences, not very sweet, even though I'm not going to talk about them now. Maybe someday I'll be able to share those personal experiences, because I've had at least 3 different people's experience that I'm able to share, close relative experiences. So now what do you do if you realize that your blood pressure is going down? And like I said, it's usually a very simple thing, and there are things you can do for yourself. So let's go and talk about what you can do to help yourself. The one thing that I start with is to say that you should not fall. If you're feeling faint, don't wait until you fall down. You have to lie down and you raise your leg up, so your head should be lower than your leg. Okay? That is one of the first things to do. If your blood pressure is low and you're managing it from home, you should also be able to do most of this thing. But if it's really severe, then you should be in the hospital and not manage yourself from home. But there are basic things you could do from home, even before you get to the hospital. So I want to talk about some of those things you can do. One of them is to make sure that you're drinking water. Keep hydrated. Dehydration will help hasten or worsen your scenario. So keep your blood, the water flow, the water intake going. As soon as you're not getting enough fluid in your system, then your system is going to get more, exposed to more crisis and complication. The other one is to move slowly. Don't be in a hurry. Don't, take it easy. If you must hold something to get to where you lie down, please do. Okay? Don't be fast to stand up. Don't. So many people have just standing up quickly, they will lose the balance and they fall, and that could be another crisis altogether. So don't do that, because if you get up quickly, you can have a very sharp blood pressure drop, and that could be a major crisis. The other one is, if your leg is already beginning to swell, you can have compression socks. It's not very common, but it's there in the market and you can easily buy it. But it will make sense that you consult your doctor before you begin to wear compression socks, so that it can help you, to protect your leg and improve the blood flow in the leg and all that. The other one that is right under your control is dietary adjustment. Yes, if your blood pressure is low, you may have to take moderate intake of salt. You get what I mean? So, in a sudden event of, blood pressure drop, even in the hospital, they would like to give you more salt solution, and then give you more water, more fluid and all that to raise your sodium intake slightly. But also, this is with caution. If you're going to do it at home, then you should be able to have a monitor that as you're taking the salt solution, after 30 minutes, 1 hour, you're also checking your BP. Someone should be there to help you, actually, because you'll be lying down most times. But if you're not at home, if you're severe, then you should be in the hospital and they'll be able to manage it themselves. The other dietary adjustment is that you're taking small meals at a time, more frequent small meals. So instead of eating big quantity at a time and crashing, eat small at a time, so that your system will gradually absorb the food and help you to stabilize the blood pressure. Okay. Now, one thing I'm going to say is also that there are things you can do to avoid a trigger. Many will tell you limit alcohol, but I will say no alcohol. No alcohol if you have the tendencies of low blood pressure. The other one is that you need to exercise. Yes, there has to be some regular, even if it's small, moderate exercise, you need to exercise. Walk. You can do it in your sitting room. It's not a big deal. It's something you can do, but make sure you are exercising. Okay? Again, depending on what has caused your low blood pressure or not, you may be on medication, but this is now the job of your doctor. Don't go on any medication without consulting your doctor or your caregivers. Okay? In that way, you will be sure that you will be okay. Now, you need to see a doctor. If this dizziness, lightheadedness, fainting spell is common, often, more frequent than normal. Everybody do sometimes have a fainting attack. You're overworked, you're stressed out, but if it's becoming too frequent, then you need to see your doctor. If your low blood pressure is also accompanied by other symptoms like, rapid heartbeat and, severe chest pain and stuff like that, hey, don't wait. If you're in developed country like America, please call 911. Go to emergency. Don't wait at home because you may need immediate attention. Wherever you are, whatever healthcare support system you have, please use it immediately if you have other symptoms alongside. If you suspect your blood pressure is related to a medication you're taking, just stop that medication immediately and consult your doctor, your pharmacist, and so on. It is very important that you find out what exactly is causing this. You can't continue to be on antihypertensive and your blood pressure is dropping below 90, 60 and you're still taking it. You're probably taking it because you don't know that your blood pressure has gone so low. So that's why it's very important that we learn this. This should be a common knowledge to everybody, anybody, anywhere. I know you're listening. If you have a question, please drop in the comment box and engage. Let's talk about it. There are so many of our loved ones that had passed away, not because death came, but because they didn't know this. Their loved ones, they didn't know. People that were with them didn't know what to do in situations like this. And before you know it, it became a more complicated issue, things that should have even been easy to manage even from home. And that's why I'm sharing this in the spirit of Christmas love. So let's talk about it. Share your experience and let's, find a way forward how we can keep helping ourselves, living within this hard time everywhere, but living the best of life, making sure that the life that God has given to us, that we don't joke with it. And it's especially more important now that we're going into festivity period. Be careful what you eat. Yeah. If you are hypertensive, then you should be careful with your salt intake. If you are hypo, so your lifestyle depends on the medical condition you have. And pay attention to the symptoms and signs that you may have so that, you'll be able to manage them. The truth is that if you apply a number of lifestyle changes, you may not have to be on any medication. But if you're already on any medication, if your doctor has said you have this condition or that condition, hey, pay attention to them. Help yourself. Don't rely just on the doctor said I must take this drug every day. And then your blood pressure is crashing below 1960 and you're still taking the drug. Hey, you will just die. Yeah. So don't do that to yourself. Let me see your comments and let's continue this conversation, and help ourselves.